All right, guys, it's time for the Chili Bowl Pool Selection Show here on the Rodman Rundown. Before I get into it, if you would like to be involved, you can go to @CoreyNeshaw on Twitter. It's a $30 entry fee into his pool. Also, our friends at Dirt Track Pools have one as well. Also a $30 entry. If you do not have Twitter, the links to those pools will be in the description below. It is a Google form. All you have to do is pick one driver from each group. You submit it, and then you send your $30 to these guys, and you are involved in the Chili Bowl pool. It is so much fun. I was fortunate enough to win the pool back in 2023, and it paid $3,400 to win. It was crazy. It was a huge amount of money, and it was very stressful along the way as well, but maybe that could be you. Now, also before I get into this, I've got a giveaway I'm doing here on the channel as well. The pool that I'm about to do throughout the week, we're going to be adding to it as well. But if this pool that I'm doing finishes in the top 25 overall, I'm going to give away 3 Rodman Rundown merchandise items to 3 random people that comment their picks for that specific video. They hit the like button and they hit the subscribe button as well. The 3 items, we have a Rodman Rundown t-shirt. You could choose, if you are one of these 3 people that are randomly chosen, you could choose one of these 3 items: a Rodman Rundown t-shirt, Rodman Rundown koozie here, nice cup right there with the logo on it, or one of these Rodman Rundown wing panels as well. So some different items there. If it finishes in the top 50, we'll give away 2 items, and if it finishes inside the top 100, we will give away 1 item. We'll spin a wheel with all the people's names on it, and it'll be a random draw. So if you want to do that, make sure to comment down below and do the rest of those things, and enjoy this video. All right, guys, let's get into it. Group 1 for each of the prelim nights is on the board. As you'll notice throughout the week, these groups will get larger as far as the amount of drivers in each one. And basically, this is the Corey Neshaw pool, by the way. The top 3, in his opinion, for each night is on the board right now. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You pick one guy from each group, and that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to submit this pool, and that's the one that goes into that giveaway we mentioned just a few moments ago. So we'll start out on Monday. I'm going to mark down who I have at the end of going through each driver. Shane Golobic is at the top of the board. The number next to him is 6.3. That is his average finish on prelim nights at the Chili Bowl in his career. He has finished second on a prelim night 4 different times in his career, and he's 11 for 17, making the Saturday A main at the Chili Bowl. That is a pretty damn good number. That is a 64% of the time he is making the show. He drives a Spike SR11X as well, so he's got good equipment. Also got Cannon McIntosh in Group 1. I have 3 asterisks next to his name because he's won 3 prelim nights in his career, and so not really much to talk about with him. We know what we're going to get from Cannon McIntosh. He's going to be very fast, along with his Keith Kunz Motorsports teammate, Tanner Carrick in the 98. I have 2 asterisks next to him because he has also won 2 prelim nights in his career at the Chili Bowl Nationals. Now, looking at those 3 drivers, I feel like I have to go. I feel like you can't go wrong with really any of these guys on the board because they're all going to be running up front. It's just who is going to be running up front more on Saturday? Who's going to run 2nd instead of 9th? Who's going to run 3rd instead of 14th, right? That's what you kind of have to think about with this one. And I think with all of the experience that he has throughout the entire year and with the recent success on his prelim night, we're going to take Cannon McIntosh in Group 1 for Monday. Now, moving on to Tuesday, we've got Brad Sweet driving the RMS Racing 7T. We've got Thomas Meserol out there as well in the Engler Machine and Tools 7X. And we've got a former Tuesday night prelim winner with Hank Davis driving the Matt Seymour Racing number 29S. Now, who am I going to take out of this group? We've got Hank Davis there with an asterisk next to his name, meaning that he has won the prelim night before, but the other 2 guys up there with him have not been able to win a prelim night. You know what you're going to get with Brad Sweet. In my opinion, Brad Sweet, one of the best sprint car drivers of all time. He has done some great things at the Chili Bowl in the past. He has finished 2nd on a prelim night 2 times in his career. In his career on Saturday, though, he's made the main event 6 out of 11 times, which is a 54% clip for him. He is driving a Spike with a Toyota engine. Fantastic equipment. Sweet has not been to the Chili Bowl for the last 2 years. And then you've got Thomas Meserol. well, let me back up. Sweet, a 5.4 average finish on the prelim nights in his career. That's a pretty damn good number. For Meseraull, the number's not quite as good, but the sample size is much larger for him. He's finished second before on a prelim night twice in his career as well. But on Saturday night, 10 for 23 on making the main event. And that is just a 43% of the time that T-Mez makes the show on Saturday in his career. I don't like that number there. I don't like the 43%. And T-Mez, as good of a driver as he is, he's just a little bit too out of control for me to take him. If he wrecks, if one of these guys wrecks, I mean, your pool is going to be hurting pretty badly right off the bat. So I'm not going to take Thomas Meseraull. And I don't see Brad Sweet winning. Honestly, I could see none of these guys winning on Tuesday. To be completely honest with you, I don't know. I don't like taking Thomas Meseraull, as I mentioned, and I don't know about Brad Sweet. Just he hasn't been there in 2 years. He doesn't seem like a guy that's going to be getting after it in a midget like he was maybe 20 years ago. I think I'm going to go with Hank Davis. I'm going to take Hank Davis in the 29S. He's won a prelim night before. He's been just outstanding over the last couple of years there, so I'm going to go with him. Now, moving on to Wednesday, you've got Corey Day driving the Willie Kane 41. You've got Emerson Axum in the 68K for Keith Kunz Motorsports, and then you got Dason Persley driving for Chad Boat Industries. So we've got Corey Day, asterisk next to his name. He was able to win the Wednesday prelim last year. And then as for Axum, he has finished second on a prelim night once before in his career. And on Saturday, he's made the show 2 out of 4 times for 50%. And that is a Link chassis with a Toyota engine. Now for Persley, last year, or I can't remember what year it was, he came from like the D main and was passing cars all over the place on Saturday. Honestly, it looked like they were cheating. They were that fast. They were that good. For him, his best run on a prelim night was 4th. That was last year. He has made the Saturday feature 2 out of 3 times in his career. That is a 66% of the time he makes it on Saturday. Spike Toyota engine. And for me, this one is a little bit easier than the last two. I think you have to go with Dason Persley. I'm putting a check mark next to his name. He just won the USAC Midget Championship. But if you look here, his average finish on the prelim night is 12.3. That is not the best. Axum is a 7.5, way better. But I think Persley is the safe bet here with this one. Corey Day is not quite in the same realm as Thomas Meseraull, but for the pool, I would rather have a guy that I think is a little bit safer. He's not going to go out there if he's running 7th and try and put it on the wall and do all kinds of crazy stuff to try and win. Dason Persley, I feel like, is a guy that's going to be safe running 4th. If he runs 4th, he's going to be happy, but he's also going to be a guy I think that's challenging for the win on Wednesday more often than not. Now, moving on to Group 1 on Thursday, we've got Spencer Baston, who won the prelim night last year. He is a teammate to Brad Sweet. You got Brady Bacon in the 21H for Hink. Was it Hink Racing, or I can't remember the exact team name there. And then you've got Chris Wyndham in the 89X for Chad Boat Industries, teammate to Dason Persley, along with a bunch of other cars as well. For Brady Bacon, a 9.0 average finish on the prelim nights in his career. And for Chris Wyndham, it is a 6.4 average finish. So pretty good number there for Chris Wyndham. Now, looking at Brady Bacon's past at the Chili Bowl, he's a guy that has terrible luck in the building. He's finished second on the prelim night 2 times in his career, and he's only 5 for 20. He's made the Saturday main event 5 times out of 20 appearances, which is just a 25% of the time he makes the show. It's a Triple X chassis with a Toyota engine. And for Chris Wyndham, he does not run midgets all that much. Didn't look incredible on the West Coast with USAC earlier this year, or I guess it'll be at the end of last year. He's finished second once on the prelim night, and for him, 10 out of 19 times he has been able to make the Saturday main event. That is 52% of the time. It is a Spike with a Toyota engine for him as well. All the guys on the board are going to have great equipment. But for me, I don't like what I've seen from Brady Bacon here recently in that building. He does not run a midget all that much at the entire season. Same can be said for Spencer Baston, but he seems to pick it up pretty quickly. Chris Wyndham, for me, it's between Baston and Wyndham. But I think that I'm going to take the guy that won last year's prelim night. For Spencer Baston, I think he's a little bit safer out of the 3 options on the board. That's what I'm going to go with there. I think it's a very good car. Baston is a very good midget driver. Before he was a full-time wing guy, he ran USAC for a couple of years, so he's very familiar with these cars. And so I'm going to take him Group 1 on Thursday. Now, to our final group, Friday night, we've got Tyler Courtney. He's going to be driving one of the Paul Silva entries, the 23C. You've got the 40M of Chase McDermott and the 67 of Ryan Timms. So Courtney, out of those three, is the only one that's won a prelim night in his career. That was quite a few years ago, though, not driving the same car. That was driving a Clausen Marshall car. For Chase McDermott, he has a 5.0 average finish on the prelim nights. For Ryan Timms, a 4.5. So it's two very good numbers right there for those two drivers. Also looking more into their stats as well, McDermott has ran third 2 times in his career on the prelim nights, but he is just 1 for 4 in making the Saturday main event. That is a 25% clip for him. Spike Toyota engine for him. And then for Ryan Timms, he's finished second 1 time on the prelim night before. He is 2 for 3 at 66% of the time making the Saturday main event. A link chassis Toyota engine for Timms. I honestly do not like Tyler Courtney this year. They looked abysmal on the West Coast with USAC. I mean, could not get that thing going the right direction. Got upside down at Tulare. And really, they were just not a factor on any of the nights, it seemed like, on the West Coast with USAC. So Tyler Courtney's off the board for me. It's between Chase McDermott and Ryan Timms. I'm going to do more pools than this one. I'm probably going to split between those two guys on my other pool or my other 2 pools, whatever I'm going to do. But for me, I think the safe option, I don't even know if it's safe. Is Ryan Timms a safe option? And sometimes I like to take some gambles, you know. I think I'm going to take Chase McDermott. Let's do it. I'm going to try and go a little bit off the wall here. Is that off the wall? Do you think most people are going to take Ryan Timms? I think they are. And maybe just because of the name, everybody knows Tyler Courtney, they might take him and leave Chase McDermott out. I think he's very good. That 1 out of 4 on Saturday main events does not show the speed that he's had in the past. I think that Chase McDermott is going to be very, very good this year. And so I'm going to take him for Friday Group 1. Let me know your picks down in the comment section below to be involved in that giveaway. And then tomorrow we will be back with Group 2 for all 5 nights. Might have to use 2 boards for that one because there's going to be way more names underneath of each of the days. So let me know your thoughts down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It should be fun once it's all done. And then when we get to next week, when I do the recaps of each night, I'm going to be talking about the pool, where we're at in the standings, how our guys ran, all that stuff as well. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. Make sure to hit subscribe, hit the like button. And then, like I said, comment down below. And we'll talk to you again here tomorrow on the Rodman Rundown. Thank you all for your support. Talk to you again soon.